I know this is excellent Don Kryptonium, but today we need to be serious. We need to address a few things because I'm still following the crypto space and I still feel the crypto space is not realistic enough, especially in the difficult place we are right now. I would like to mention a few things and put your attention to these few things. I will start from one thing. Never anything that I will ever talk on this channel will be financial advice. I don't know what you might think about me. Maybe you think I'm some great investor who made tons of money. The truth is, I'm myself a little bit of a gambler. You know, that's the honesty. I have good tolerance to like money. I don't know why, but I tend to. I had good moments and I had big losses moments as well. So I don't think anything that I do on this channel should be ever followed as any sort of advice or the guide. You know, when I make the videos, I can make some like poppy thumbnail, which would be essentially the clickbait, but it's to drag attention to the project I want to talk about, that I want to introduce something, and the money usually drag the most attention of the people. But when you actually watch these videos, they're not necessarily about this heavy gains. This is what I'm trying to do. But let's get to the crypto space, right? The influencers, many people chat online. I noticed this, and my opinion is that most of the people, most of the influencers, and most of the discussions are essentially the nonsense. It's one big speculation, and it's even worse than the speculation because most of the people in the crypto space, they've been so much into this, and they maybe make money into this regardless of the market conditions, that they will be overly bullish regarding of the moment in crypto. And this is why I think you might have some wrong perception how the market looks like as of now. So in this video, I want to talk to you about the projects that I believe in Cosmos ecosystem, because that's where I'm exposed. The projects that I believe could actually die, go to zero, cease to exist from various reasons. And also, as now maybe there is some worries that we might approach in recession. I'm not economist, but I would like to also speculate what it essentially means for the crypto market. Could it have consequences? Okay, so even now, when the Luna collapsed, many people are like, hey, there is this Terra too. We'll see what could happen. It's essentially smart contract platform. Maybe people will be built, people deployed. There is still hope. I think maybe Do Kwon was a little bit arrogant, which my opinion is, and it's not about like being like nice or not. You know, I don't think anyone should be exposed to Terra 2. Maybe it will be very valuable, but as of now, like I'm trying to look at the facts, and the facts are that Do Kwon was not a little bit overconfident, but he had massive ego, probably delusional, maybe sociopath, because I think if someone wipe out the 60 billion of market cap and come in with new project instead of like reflecting on what happened. And regarding this new project, he actually still challenged people far harder. There is like some factor of sociopathy. So if you actually enter in some project based on those facts, you might be delusional yourself. And I would advise you to be careful, because there is no pride. Like some people would say, hey, he stood up and now he fights again. And I want to tell you, one more thing before we get to the main subject, because that's essentially like short podcast that I'm doing here. I'm talking to myself. So you see, I look at the world, and there was a lot of chaos in the last 2 years. Regarding of where you stand, there was big distrust to the governments, and I think because we had this big distrust to the authorities, many people wanted to challenge them, and what Terra was using as the marketing tool was challenging these big authorities. And I had my friend who was very much against the authorities during this COVID period and stuff like this. and he potentially agreed that, not sure if he fully agreed, he can't comment because he knows who I'm talking about, but he was looking to challenge authorities because he believed he's lied to. But I think also this sort of beliefs can lose the ground, because then you will seek for those who meant to transform it, those real ones. And the Terra was this decentralized system, the real one, the people's system, the one that challenged authorities. And the quote, "The centralized economy needs decentralized money." And he believed in that, right? And he got burned. So I think sometimes when you have the social rhetoric, it can be used to drive you to certain projects, but at the end of the day, they might be more harmful for you because you get drawn into this rhetoric. So not everything that opposes the government essentially is good, and that's probably important to always remember. So I left this question on the Twitter. Not many people got engaged, as you can see, 0 hearts, but few responses. I said, which Cosmos chains will collapse during bear market? And I used the tags of Atom, Juno, and Osmo. I didn't mean these tokens, but you see Cosmos ecosystem exploding, and many people, including some head Cosmos people, believe there will be millions of chains, right? I don't know if it will happen. So I don't mean the Juno or Atom, especially Atom. Atom started in the bear market, so I don't know how low it can go. I don't think it's going to collapse. I feel the Juno is very engaged, the validator community. I don't think it's going to collapse. Similar to Osmo, they might have very difficult times ahead. Maybe they could go very low, the price value. But you need to know, on Cosmos, there is a lot of speculation. The other chains, and I believe they're at risk of fully collapsing. Some people maybe are exposed to the chain like Cerberus or something like this. And I don't mean to shit on your project if you are there, but many of these chains are at danger collapsing, not only through the fact that there is no attraction from community, but validators might be not incentivized enough financially, and they will be dropping the networks and focusing only on the ones that are important one. And even the ones that seems to be quite popular within the ecosystem struggle with the voting turnout, and that would be Comdex. I personally don't know if Comdex even can survive because of this, because the validators are not active enough on this chain. There is other project from the same company, I believe, Asset Mantle, and they had horrible fuck-ups, and I don't know if they can attract community, so I would not get exposed to Asset Mantle because they could collapse. Loom Network, they had the airdrop, I have the network, no one speak about this. I would expect it could collapse, and there is way more chains, personally, not to shit on you. Sieve Chain, difficult times ahead. I don't like you. I don't know what you are doing, and you go into the other channels like CryptoCito and Liam and try to use these terms and explain yourself, the great things that you're building. But it doesn't work this way, whether something works or not, whether you open about what you do, whether you use the real economic word to make your project work or not. This is a simple question, whether you bring good user experience to your platform or not. And it doesn't matter, like, will you survive or not. So far, you're going very bad, and if we will have extended bear market, it will collapse. Crypto.com, I was watching F1 recently. I don't see the ad of Crypto.com, and you see, there are good signs that there is financial problems at Crypto.com. Akash Network, I understand the great mission of Akash Network, of the centralized cloud. But they been in the bear market for the past 2 years. They work, and if they don't grab the big user base because they don't have much users, they might be similar to Siacoin, that is for many years out and meant to decentralize the storage, but not many people actually use it. And if not many people will use it, then there is no value. And I wish the best to Akash, and I think it's a great project, great intention, but I don't know if it will survive. I think they will build, and as Saya showed, for example, that they survive in Akash will survive. But I think there might be difficult years, and at the end they might not succeed, right? So it's only about those things. IrisNet, I don't think know much. It's old chain, a region, great mission, but no one fucking care. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. People care. People care about the environment. People care about your great mission. But out there in the world, there are people who need to pay the bills and live from month to month. And regarding that, they will not give a shit about the environment. It's a great project, but probably too early. And maybe it will survive, but difficult times I had. Persistence I like. I think maybe it's one of these chains that is the main core. But even DVPN, you see, DVPN is trying its best, and DVPN was considered like kind of like a Cosmos blue chip. It was like one of the major developments here, but DVPN struggled massively because no one using it. Will it survive? Someone commented, hot take, I think DVPN will collapse, and I kind of agree. Okay, what else we have here? IXO, I don't know, not much traction. This Bostrom, I don't know, not much traction, right? So there is way more than this. What's the okay? Crescent is there. Nomic essentially is in an easy position because Nomic had no price discovery. So there is no economic incentives except like small participation, and is doing it well. So like I can't say anything, but Nomic is in safe position essentially. And there is way more chains that are due to collapse. Accept this fact, right? Don't look up even like to me because I don't know. And this time, let's see what's happening on my. What's going on here? In the top 10 has some. Okay, like I'm gonna respond to this one because it's also it also need to be said. So we are in a little bit different economic conditions. I'm not economist, but essentially when Bitcoin was born was 2009, and we're out of the recession. For the 13 years, we did not have recession, and there was the Bitcoin now. So we first time if we will hit recession, we don't know how crypto will react towards it. If the crypto is the safe haven for the recession or not, which will be worth to observe, right? So this kind of belief in like 4-year cycles and stuff like this, I don't know if can happen because we are in difficult economic time. Like not difficult, people have money. Let's not pretend. We are like we are way better than 10 years ago. I don't know, like maybe if you are Greek, maybe you are not better, but like I'm speaking out of Poland, the lives of everyone I know are way better than 10, 15, 20 years ago, and like still have growth, like but it's not for everyone, right? So we'll see how crypto behave in the bear market, in the recession essentially, not in the bear market. And that's why it's hard to predict and hard to be bullish. Many Cosmos, like I saw even some tweet, and also not to shit, I'm trying to like, and I'm being called out as nonsense, you see, because I speak myself the nonsense often. But there was some, okay, I'm not gonna expose the name. There was the influencer that was tweeted, hey, Comdex has only this value, and the synthetic assets is this value in the world. If Comdex to at least acquire 0.1%, this is how much it will be worth. You see, the fact that you have the marketplace for synthetic assets, it doesn't mean the token will have the same value as these assets that you are listing on this market. Like it's not related. So you see how, in which terms the people in blockchain think. They don't really get that. Like they think that's how the world works because they are not economists like me. There's people think in these terms because that makes sense to them. But the markets doesn't make sense, and that's important to know. I said if you stake in Evmos, because Evmos has like really big disproportion, like, and I'm not really like so much into like I like Evmos, but like the leading validators have a lot of tokens and the bottom very little. And I said it's the problem because the top validators with this high APR, if they compound, they will be getting further and further away. Here is the Jakaka say the high APR doesn't matter. The top 10 has 75%, the rest have 35%, 25%. If they compound, they still have this. But we're not talking about this kind of like voting power, but like the bottom 25% to, if this power growth of the leading validators still will be at 75%, but the amount of tokens they're gonna have will make it more difficult for the 25 to actually equalize that later. So now it's easier because the number of tokens, right? But if they're gonna keep compounding and you still have top 10 having 75%, then it will be more difficult to equalize the decentralization. Who even cares, right? So this was the chat. I'm chatting to myself because I'm trying to approach some people for interview and not everyone wants to talk to me. Maybe I'm not the guy who's like, bad things happen, but I think we still have the bright future ahead. You know, 50,000 wallets, 100,000 wallets is nothing. You want 100 million wallets, then we can speak of adoption. Anyway, Don Kryptonium's out. Till the next time.